सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ओम शांति शांति शांति। श्रुति स्मृति पुराणानाम् आलयं करुणालयं नमामि भगवत्पाद शंकरं लोकशंकरं शंकरं शंकराचार्यं केशवं बादरायणं सूत्रभाष्यकृतौ वन्दे भगवन्तौ पुनः पुनः। ओम त्वमेव माता च पिता त्वमेव त्वमेव बन्धुश्च सखा त्वमेव त्वमेव विद्या द्रविणं त्वमेव त्वमेव सर्वं मम देव देव। ओम गुरुदेव भगवान शिव शंकर भोलेनाथ कैलाशपति महाराज की जय। भगवान व्यास जी महाराज की जय। शंकराचार्य भगवान की जय। स्वामी चिन्मयानंद भगवान की जय। स्वामी दयानंद भगवान की जय। स्वामी प्रबुद्धानंद भगवान की जय। माता पिता की जय। सभी गुरु देवताओं की जय। सभी गुरु देवताओं की जय। श्री कृष्ण गोविंद हरे मुरारी हे नाथ नारायण वासुदेवा। श्रीमद् भगवत गीता चैप्टर 3 verse number 21, which is supposed to be done today. Yesterday we had seen in the verse 20, Krishna said, whether you are a jnani or a karma yogi, here is a situation for you to do karma. This is not opposed to knowledge because you are not the doer. Karma can be done even if you know that you are not the karta. Or put another way, karma is not opposed to knowledge, nor is it a means to knowledge, because by just doing karma you cannot get moksha. If you have no viveka, karma can bind you, whereas it can also be means for purifying your mind if you make it a yoga by change in attitude. The change in attitude is when you do a karma with the attitude of offering the karma to God. It changes the karma to karma yoga. This karma yoga purifies your mind. Antakaran shuddhi take place. When the mind is purified, it is ready for the knowledge. It accepts the knowledge. It accepts the Vedantic theory. It is ready to accept the Vedantic study. And with that knowledge, to recognize the moksha. Now Krishna, in verse number 21, Krishna tells Arjuna why he should do his duty, why anybody should do his duty. Yada yadyadacharit charati shreshtas tatadevetro janah sayat pramanam kurute lokastadanu vartate. Yad yad achrati, यद यद आचरति, यद्य यद्य आचरति आचरति श्रेष्ठस् श्रेष्ठस् तदेव तरो ज्ञानः जनः. Shrestha, an important person. Yat yat, whatsoever, acharati, does, itarah, the other, janah, person, tat tat eva, that alone, sah sah yat pranama kuriyate kurute, what he set as proper, tat, that, lokaha, the word of people, anavartate, follows. Whatever an important person does, that alone the other people do. Whatever that person set as proper, the world follows that. The world people follows that. Shrestha here refers to the one who is considered to be an important by other members of the society, a leader to be reckoned with, like a king, a prince, a judge, or an officer of some kind. We follow a right person. We don't follow wrong person. We can't follow Modi. He is right. People have voted him. The father of the given household is such a person, a role model, the father of the family. He is like father. The word acharati in this verse refers to what one does in terms of how one lives, how one acts and reacts to the variety of situation encountered in a day-to-day life. We follow a person who is a dutiful person, the one who lives with peace with everybody, the one who acts properly, accordingly, and reacts to variety of situations encountered in day-to-day life. So is your Prime Minister Modi doing it. No one else. People follow him. He is the person to be followed. A person who is looked up to sets the trend for how everyone else lives. He does and people follow. The whole nation follow. People always look up to someone, and whatever that person looks upon as a standard is what they follow. Here the word paramana means the measure of what is right and what is wrong. The same word we have used earlier to refer to mean of knowledge. If a king looks upon the Veda as pramana, the most of his subjects will look up to in the same way. Modi looks at Vedas as pramana. So does the people. People follow him. He is a right leader. This is exactly what happened in ancient India when Ashoka and other kings came under the influence of Buddhism, Buddhist monks, because these kings no longer looked at the Vedas as pramana. A lot of people also shifted to Buddhism, thus converting people to new interpretation of Vedic religion is today also very easy in India. In those days also, all that had to be done was to convert the king. Whatever become the pramana for the king becomes pramana for the subjects. King was converted. So were the subjects. This is how the whole people changed to the different religions. They forgot these beautiful scriptures. Pramana of Vedanta, how life should be lived. It is now, when the right leader has come, don't let this opportunity go away. This is the opportunity for Vedas to shine and let people know this as pramana of right knowledge. Vedas are the right knowledge. Vedas are the pramana to moksha. Because people generally have neither the time nor the inclination to look into religious matter, they do not stand on their own. They tend to follow someone else and can be easily carried away merely because their leader has a set particular trend. Mao, for example, told people that if they want to be efficient and accomplish their ends, they should read his red book every day. In this way, he made scriptures out of it. In India too, it is said that by reading a particular verse or chapter every day, you will get this or that. The difference is that Mao's red book is not a scriptural authority. It is worldly authority, a laukika pramana. It is not Veda. Vedas are Vedic pramanas. Any system or book becomes pramana if you think it is going to solve all the problems of the world, including your own, of course. Gita is a Vedic pramana to moksha. There are people, for example, who cannot go to bank or do anything else unless they consult the I Ching or tarot cards. This is their pramana. In the same way, whatever leader does, everyone else do. Whatever he looks upon at his guidebook, his pramana, other will also look upon as pramana, even if it is a red book. If your leader reads a wrong book, so will the public follow the wrong. Since the reader is reading the right text, he has gone through the Vedanta. Therefore, it is becoming difficult for the people who don't want to understand Vedanta to live life today. They are feeling the pinch. Right leader who looks into the right, who does right things. You will find that every revolution has some kind of book behind it. Mein Kampf, My Struggle, was the book Hitler's followers read and were inspired by. It became the pramana for them. Hitler's entire ideology is there, including what exactly Aryan rule is, how the Aryan race is bound to rule, and superiority of Aryan race. Whatever the pramana, laukika or Vedika, if it is considered a pramana by a Shrestha people will follow. Whatever the leader, whatever the text or whatever leader does, Shrestha is the leader, a famous person whom people follow. Today we follow Modi, our Prime Minister. General feeling is he is a right person with right attitude. No complaints. People follow. Similarly, if a king says the Veda is not a pramana, then the people will give it up. And if we say it is pramana, the people will look into it. This is why Krishna told Arjuna that whether he liked it, he was a leader, and if he walked out, he would find that everyone else would also give up. If Arjuna had given up the war, everyone would have given it up. He was a leader. So is your Prime Minister today. He is a fighter. He is fighting. If he walks out, so does everyone. And if he says it is pramana, the people will look into it. Suppose, however, that Krishna had encouraged Arjuna to go and turning the horses around drove him to Rishikesh, brought him to Rishikesh. Modi could have sit easily in Gujarat with his mother, doing seva to his mother. He could have done it. It was very easy. He could have chosen that path, which is also a right path, to do seva of parents. The whole nation today, where would it be? Where would we be? All the other soldiers would have also turned around. They would have pitched camps because Arjuna was there. All the subjects would also have gone to Rishikesh. Shah would have gone to Gujarat. Who would have bring in the changes? If Arjuna wore a certain type of clothing, everyone would have dressed in the same way. If he wore Rudraksh beads, everyone would have them. So, this is how we do today also. We follow, but we have Viveka. We follow a right person. The person who has right attitude, who has made his karmas into karma yogas. He is not doing it for himself. He is doing it for entire nation. Let's respect him. Therefore Krishna said, this is how it is. Arjuna, whatever you do is exactly what others are going to do, because you are a Shrestha, a leader, someone who is important, because Arjuna's decision would have far-reaching consequences. He had to look at his situation very carefully before he decides anything. Krishna also assured Arjuna that he would lose nothing by doing his duty. This is what Krishna has done today also. He advised Prime Minister that he is for a bigger duty. His duty is for entire nation. Sometimes you have to sacrifice smaller duties for bigger duties. Please understand. If he was Jnani, Krishna also assured Arjuna that he would lose nothing by doing his duty. Krishna advised Modi also in form of Swami Dayananda. If he was a Jnani, his actions would be based on his prarabdha and would create no problems for him. And if he was an Ajnani, the action was definitely to be done because it was his duty. This was Krishna's whole point. Verse number 22. Krishna points to himself with reference to the performance of action. Name partasti kartavyam trishu lokeshu kaschina nanavaptamavaptavayam vrata eva cha karmani. Partha, O Arjuna, for me, kartavyam, to be done, not asti, is trishu, in the trishu, lokeshu, world, anavaptam, not yet gained, avaptavyam, to be gained, anichana, anything, not, cha, yet, karmani, in action, eva, indeed, varate, I remain engaged. Krishna says, Partha, Arjuna, for me there is nothing to be done in the three worlds. There is nothing to be gained by me which is not yet gained. Yet I remain engaged in action. What a great words. If one is awake to one's own nature, awake to the self as a karta, then the state of actionless is achieved. Actionless does not imply the absence of activity. However, inactivity being impossible as long as one is alive, as we have already seen, a person is always doing one thing or another, whether he or she is a sannyasi or a karma yogi or simply a karmi. Total reunification of action is possible only in form of knowledge that I, Atma, performs no action. Aham karma na karomi. Aham karma na karomi. I, the Atma, performs no action. I, the body is karta. I, as a jnani, I, Atma, performs no action. This knowledge is an awakening. In my presence, all activities take place. As will be made clear later, I myself do not perform any action. This is not just volitional or a self-hypnotizing thought. Self-hypnotizing thought. It is the recognition of the fact. This is not just volitional or a self-hypnotizing act. It is the recognizing of fact. This knowledge alone makes me reunificated of all actions. In spite of my knowledge seen to perform actions. From my own standpoint, there is no action whatsoever. All action is only from the standpoint of the physical body. Please, these are the words. This knowledge alone makes me renunciate of all actions in spite of my being seen to perform actions. I am doing action, which you see, from my own standpoint, there is no action whatsoever. All action is only from the standpoint of this physical body, mind and sense organs. From their standpoint of view, there is action. Whereas from the standpoint of the self, the Atma, there is no action at all. I am not doing any action from the point of Atma. This is what is called Naishkramya, actionless. Whether you have achieved this knowledge of actionless, doing karma, is in no way a problem. In fact, if you have come to know what the self is, then all there is for you is prarabdha. Lord Krishna knew Arjuna's prarabdha very well. If you know the action-free self, whatever your prarabdha dictates, whatever the situation wants, you do. Such karma does not bind you at all. If you are a jnani, unaware of the fact about the Atma, then karma can become a yoga for you, neutralizing your raga, dveshas, likes and dislikes. Raga, dvesha cannot be neutralized unless you pay attention to them, which is what karma yoga is all about. Either way, whether you are a jnani or an ajnani, you can perform action. Here Krishna talks about himself with reference to action, saying that there was nothing to be done by him, nothing that was accomplished, nor anything that had yet to be accomplished. The expression is in all the three worlds is meant to cover the entire universe and all others that may exist as well. Krishna has no mandate whatsoever, either here on earth or in heaven or anywhere else. He was not duty bound in any way. He was the knowledge himself. Only then there is something to be accomplished. Only when there is something to be accomplished is there something to be done. If there is something to be accomplished in order to make myself better, then I must definitely do whatever is to be done. If knowledge, for my betterment, knowledge is required, Vedanta study is required, then I need to do it. That is my duty. I should do it. Without doing, I cannot accomplish, and without accomplishing, I will not be satisfied. To look after my children is my duty. I have to do it. If I do it prayerfully, it will become karma yoga. With viveka I do, it becomes karma yoga. I am doing the same duty, whether jnani or ajnani. When I do my duty, I feel accomplished. Without doing, I cannot accomplish, and without accomplishing, I will not be satisfied. I will be stuck with the desire to accomplish, which is what makes the person sansari. However, for Krishna, there was no such thing as not accomplished or to be accomplished, because he knew he was everything. He was the knowledge himself. What is to be done is him only. Knowledge this, knowing this, everything was accomplished. There was nothing for him to do. Kartavyam nasti, because there was nothing for him to gain or lose. If I want antakaran shuddhi, I have something to be done. Kartavyam asti, I have to do karma with a karma yoga attitude. Yoga buddhi. Only then will my mind become pure enough for the knowledge to take place. And of course, I have to do karma if I want to fulfill my raga dvesha. Most people have long list of items to be done in order to fulfill their likes and dislikes. And they perform actions for this purpose alone. For such people, fulfilling their likes and dislikes is important because they do not want to be bugged or unfulfilled desires. However, desires, kamas, are not different than bugs. They keep biting. Desires keep biting. They breed and grow very quickly. Desire, bug, do not remain single or childless. They make sure that before they go, they have left behind at least handful and have definite knack to generating their own species in great abundance. Desires produce other desires. This is a long list. This creates the long list. Desires keep on producing other desires. In nature, being to continuously perpetuate itself, like fire that leaves a black trail of charred earth and never says enough. Don't give me any more fuel. I have burned up so many houses already. Desire too will never complain. This is why desire is described poetically as villain of peace, of samsara. There is no way of having a desire without fulfilling it. Thus we always have a list of things to be done. Karyam kartavyam asti. The person who understands Atma as the whole is free from those desires that are binding in nature. But this does not mean that such a person does not perform action. Krishna, who was no ordinary person, was driving Arjuna's chariot. He was a king, the king of Dwarika, but he did not consider driving a chariot a mean job. There was dignity in his labor. In fact, he felt honored when Arjuna asked him to drive the chariot, and he happily agreed to do so. Krishna was always doing one thing or another. His entire life had become one activity, even though there was nothing for him to accomplish. From childhood onwards, he had been destroying one demon after another. And if there was nothing else to do, he would pick up his flute and keep everyone else busy singing and dancing. This was Krishna, always active. Before I came here to drive your chariot, I went as a mediator to Duryodhana. Krishna could have said to Arjuna, I played the role of messenger in fact. Then I came back and told you what Duryodhana said, and now I am driving your chariot, and in response to your request that I teach you, I am doing that too right now. Why was Krishna always in the midst of action? This is he answered in the next verse. Yadi hayaham navartyam jatu karmanyatindratah mama vat marnuvartante manushya partha sarvashah. He, because Partha, Arjuna, Jatayu, ever, Yadi aham na vartyam, should I ever not engage myself, antandritaha, without being lazy, karmani, in action, manushya, human beings, mama, my, vratama, path, example, sarvasha, in every way, anuvartante, would follow. For should I not ever engage myself in action without being lazy, Partha, Arjuna, people would follow my example in every way. Here Krishna told Arjuna that if ever he became inactive, all human beings would follow him in this respect. They may not have followed him in certain other respects, but in this matter of inaction, they would definitely follow him. See what Krishna is doing. They would say, he just sits, therefore we should also all just sit too. What is the use of doing anything? This is life of samsara is useless. Therefore let us do nothing. No one would perform action, ever achieves anything. All that is achieved by this line of thinking, of course, is that you become worse. It is like saying that since everyone who underwent any treatment eventually died, I should not go under treatment of any kind. Or because everyone who eats has problem at one time or the other, I should not eat. Everyone who talks quarrel with someone, therefore I should not talk. To decide not to talk simply because when you talk it causes problem does not really solve the problem. You may not be talking externally, but you will definitely be talking internally. Previously you talked to people and now you talk to only yourself. There may be problem caused by talking, but it will not be solved by not talking. If I perform no action, I would confuse and destroy people. Krishna knew that if he did nothing, everyone would follow him, because doing nothing always looks easy. Activity definitely implies certain will, Thus, there is tendency to go for convenient or the pleasant and to avoid anything that is painful. People generally think that the most pleasant activity of all is to do nothing. Doing something may imply pain and therefore is thought to be unpleasant. So if people are to do anything at all, it should only be something that is pleasant. If, however, you keep to this course, life eventually becomes full of painful situations, because you have done only the pleasant, leaving undone whatever is painful. If this way you are left only with the painfuls, you become a pain to yourself and to everyone else as well. If you keep on postponing the painful, then you will be stuck with the painful alone. The pleasant is done and the painful remains undone. In fact, there need be nothing painful about such activities, providing you do them. Then they are out of your way and you have only the pleasants to do. So you must always do the difficult things, not side them. Don't put them aside. Not doing is not the solution. Doing is the solution. Still people are people, which is the reason Krishna, the king of Dwarka, praised as an avatara, an incarnation of Ishvara, had to set example and perform action. Further, Krishna continued in verse number 24. Utsidayurime loka na kurya karma chaidaham Shankarasya cha karta Shyama upahanayam imah prajaha. If I were not to perform action, these people would perish. I would be the author of confusion in the society, and I would destroy these things. Even for Krishna, as an avatara, had to do action. People follow. Till today we follow Krishna. We have to understand. We should follow the right person. We should have a viveka to understand the right person's attitude. Om Tat Sat. We'll see this tomorrow. This is a big chapter. It will take time. Om Tat Sat. Om Purnamadaha Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudashyate Purnasya Purnimadaya Purnameva Vasishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om Gurudevyo Namaha. Harihi Om Tat Sat.